Hi everyone, it's Steph here. This is the Novelty Corner and this is just a little intro to my printed book journal video. So a lot of you know that I have been book journaling. Sometimes I've documented it, I've done it in a couple of live shows, and I started the year with one digital planner and then in September I switched to a new one just because I wanted to change it up. But I decided that I was going to print them out. And so I've printed out the one from January to August because I finally finished it for the most part and I was ready to try it out and see what it looked like as a printed book. So because we were in the middle of lockdown when I decided to do this, I was looking up online printing services that I didn't have to go and visit. I could just upload everything online, and most of the services have something like that. But because I'm being quite specific in the fact that I'm basically using A4 size templates, which is our standard size here in Australia, although I think the planners might be 8.5, but you can make them fit an A4 template. I needed to find somewhere that would print books, either portrait or landscape, in A4 size. And I wanted to try a hardback book. And in the end, I decided to try out Officeworks, which is probably our biggest stationery store here in Australia. It's I hate to use the word generic, but it's fairly generic in terms of the stuff that it stocks, but it has all your stationery, all of your printing services, it has all of your technology services for businesses and things like that. So it made a lot of sense to go with them. And they also had the biggest range of different types of printing services available. They had hardbound books, they had soft covers, they had spiral bound things. So like there's a lot of flexibility in terms of that. And I have had a look at some of their other templates. And I think with my second journal for the end of the year, I am possibly going to try one of their soft cover A4 books, because while this template is currently a landscape one that I'm going to show you today, the second journal is portrait, and I think it would look really good like a magazine style with a soft cover, so we shall see. That is a fairly long rambly intro to what my book actually looks like, and this is how it turned out. Now, it's not perfect, and that is entirely my fault. It is not the printing service's fault, because to be honest, I was kind of in a rush when I did this, so it hasn't gone all the way to the edge. But you know what, I'm not that picky, and this is more just for my sake and to actually have a printed version of all the work that I put into it. So I just used the planner cover, which I'd already put a digital sticker on. This is the Faux planner. You guys have heard me talk about it quite a bit, and it is hardback. And so this is the thickness. I didn't do anything with the spine. I probably should have, but I didn't. And then you had to have something on the back, so I just put the cover on the back. I may think of something more creative to do with the end of year one, although I think it may have, I might be able to use the actual cover on the back of the other one as well, and it'll look quite effective. So I can't remember exactly how many pages I had in this particular book, but it is a hardcover. It has really nice quality pages inside. They feel really good. There's nothing on the end papers, but it's basically a photo book. I am actually going to show you a full flip through at the end. I'm just going to set it to music and just flip through all the pages so you can have a closer look at how everything printed out. But I think it worked pretty well. So I did keep some of the sort of generic planner pages like the calendars, and I used some of the calendars to track release dates and things like that. So even though they're not pretty or anything like that, I just decided to keep them in there. I had started using part of it as a YouTube planner, which I eventually dropped off, but I decided to keep those in there as well. I also had my subscribe account, so this was accurate at the time of printing. Yeah, and then pretty much every section has a monthly calendar, which is where I put my YouTube covers, so all the videos that I uploaded in that month. Some of them have some notes pages where I was tracking challenges and things initially. I don't necessarily do that every month, but sometimes it's there, so if I had it, I kept it in. And then this is how the spreads turned out, and I'm really, really pleased with how they looked. Now, in this one, I mostly hand wrote out, so basically it looks like scribble, because my handwriting can get fairly messy and illegible. I can read it, but I don't know if anyone else can. But I really love the way that the covers and the commentary underneath it work. Now, I've tried a few different ways of doing this throughout the year. So most of the time I have handwritten. I'm just trying to find a couple of different examples. Like if a book went over a couple of days, I enlarged it. So like every page looks a little bit different. And I also typed a few entries. I used different pen thicknesses. So this one is a much thinner digital pen type. Sometimes for challenges, I had created a separate layout. So they featured in the full spread, but I spread them out and made them bigger because they were a specific challenge. That was my Christmas in July vlog. This one has the typed pages, which I did like, but I didn't necessarily like on the squared paper background, which is what this planner had. And then at the back of the book, there are some extra pages where I'd been tracking things like 2021 releases and things like that. So overall, I'm pretty thrilled with this. I mean, it did cost a little bit of money, but to have something that I put that much time and work into throughout the year, be printed and as a physical object that I can keep, this is a great record of my reading. So I don't regret that money at all. The current planner that I'm using, which is the Luxe planner, I have a different layout. Again, it's A4, it's portrait, and I'm doing some different things with it. Instead of doing full-on reviews, I've started tracking keywords, series, characters, and I've started including quotes. So again, it's going to look a little bit different to this one, but I think that's the beauty of digital planning, is that you can change it up, and then by printing it out, I then have a record of it as well. So if anything ever happens to the digital copy, I still have a physical one. So I'm going to stop talking here, and I'm going to cut to just a flip through of the whole book so that you can see what it looks like. I think it printed really well, aside from my own errors in terms of sizing the pages and things like that, because I was doing it all manually on the screen. It didn't auto sort because I hadn't figured that part out. That stuff's entirely my fault, so I'm not at all concerned about that. I'm really pleased with the product, and I think it's going to be something that I can look back on for 2021 and go, okay, look at all the amazing things that I read, and have that record really easily accessible. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments or questions about this process, let me know down below. If there's anything in particular that you want to see in terms of digital book journaling, let me know. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do any more live streams this year with it. I'm hoping that I might be able to do one more, but it is rather hectic, and I'm about to go into report writing season as I film this, so we'll see. But definitely let me know, and if I can, I will try and answer them for you. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.